Hello everyone, welcome back to another scholarship video about the Freeman-ASIA scholarship. This is part 3 of the Freeman-ASIA scholarship video series with final tips for this scholarship application. My first tip for you is to budget your time. You really want to start as early as possible. The sooner you can begin working on the application, understanding what you need to fill out, submitting your educational background, where you want to go, program acceptance letters, see the essay prompts, the better. So what I suggest doing is emailing the Freeman-ASIA scholarship and asking, when will the scholarship application open? That's what my abroad advisor and I did. And from there, I was able to know when it was going to open and start working. I would recommend starting as soon as possible because it is time consuming. It's very detailed. You do need to be familiar with your program. It will even ask you how many credit hours are you going to be taking each semester? What classes are you going to be taking? This can be really stressful. For me, when I was filling out the scholarship application, it wasn't even time to pick courses. I had no idea, so I just put down a bunch that I was interested in and made a comment below saying it's too soon, courses haven't been decided on, but here's some I'm interested in. Here's how many credits I'm planning to take. Here's when the semester starts, I think. And then you can submit like your school's estimated calendar and things like that. So you definitely want to start as early as possible because it is really detailed and there's a lot of program information you're going to need to know. So before this scholarship opened, what I did was I started researching my study abroad university, looking at previous calendars, looking at previous courses, things like that to be familiar. So please try to start as early as you can. Another tip is to work on the application at least 3 times per week. If you work on the application 3 times per week, you're going to have a great chance. It's going to be a strong application. One thing I suggest is using a planner or digital calendar to keep up with deadlines, know when things are due, know what you need to work on, and of course, set goals. You can set goals like, I want to have my essays completed by this date. I want to have the education section completed by this date. I want to have the program info section completed by this date. You can even set reminders on digital calendars like Apple Calendar, Google Calendar, so I definitely suggest that. Next, you want to meet with your study abroad advisor at least 2 times a month. This is crucial. Study abroad advisors are a resource to you. They can help you with anything. They have experience. They probably studied abroad at least once, if not multiple times before. Both of my advisors had studied abroad multiple times at some point in college, either undergraduate, graduate, or post-college. So I suggest meeting with them at least twice a month. This is a great time to ask questions, get application help. This can be for any application. I used them to help me with both the Gilman and Freeman-ASIA scholarship, so I was able to use them to help answer questions and just help me in any way that I needed. And they also helped me find contact that I needed and helped me find previous alums from the school who had received this scholarship and tried to get me in contact with them. Next, you want to make sure your scholarship application is personal. You want to have a focus on your dreams, your career goals, and how overall this study abroad is going to impact your education. You really want to make sure you're specific here. You're focusing on specific goals, and it's not a vacation. You want to show that you're not coming to party and have a good time. You're coming to have a good time and explore, but your priority is education, learning, sharing culture with the community, going out in the community, and bringing that impact back to your future career and the U.S. So next, for your follow-on service project, you want to make sure it is realistic. This is the biggest one of all of them. Your follow-on service project needs to be realistic, it needs to be doable, it needs to be something that you can easily work on and it's manageable. You need to make sure you're able to complete it by the deadline, which I think is 6 months after you return to the US. It has to be completed by then. If you need longer time, you can ask for it. You just have to explain why, but basically everyone should be able to be done by that time. So completed in time is important, and you want to show you've done proper planning. So for this, it can be contacting people on campus, more like faculty who you're going to work with, creating your YouTube channel and planning out monthly videos. You want to have specifics. So for me, I talked about how often I was going to make videos. So how often you will make your project medium. So like if it's videos twice a month, if it's a blog once a week, if it's an art showcase, you're going to make a piece of art every month, whatever you want. And then have a solid plan for what you'll do. So you'll want to break that plan down into pieces. So for example, week 1 overview video. Week 2, we could do about my program video. Week 3, you could do current classes, things like that. Anything you want to talk about, favorite restaurants. It's always great to include DEI in your project, so diversity, equity, and inclusion in any way that you can. That's always great. Whatever you have in your area, if it's foods from around the world, meeting people from around the world. My dorm is full of international students from other countries, so it's really easy to share your culture. I became really great friends with a student from Finland, and we were able to share our cultures together. The next biggest is to have it proofread. I had mine proofread by 3 professors, a librarian, and two tutors, and the writing center when I wanted more eyes. Lastly, I contacted my high school English teacher that I had for a few years, and also had her to read over it because she was super strong in helping me with essays in high school, and I wanted one last set of eyes on it, and she knew me pretty well from having me for a couple of years. So definitely have it proofread as much as you can. I highly suggest going to your librarian, picking the librarian, and picking at least one professor. And importantly, your study abroad advisor can read over your essays. Mine did twice, once in the middle of me working on them and once at the very end to make some minor changes. Super helpful, especially because she had studied abroad before and she had worked on the Japan Exchange and Teaching Program Advisory Board. So that's not what I was applying for, but I knew she had a high essay scanning quality, if you will, from working on that panel. Another great tip is ask your friends and family to read over your essays. My dad has a really strong collegiate background, so he was able to read over my essays and give some tips. My sister's graduated college. She has tips. Grandparents are always happy to help, even if they haven't gone to college, even if they've just been to high school or they didn't finish college, that's okay. My grandparents never went to college, but they were still more than happy to read over it. And of course, your family knows you very well and can help you talk about how you would overcome struggles and challenges. This is a big question that they ask and want you to show in the essay. So friends and family can help you more with that because they know you on more of a personal level than like your professors or advisors, things like that. Another fun person to read over it is your just general advisor. If you're close with them, ask them to read over your essay as well. Another great tip is to contact any Freeman-ASIA alumni that you can find, any from your college. You can ask your study abroad advisors to see anyone who's graduated in the last few years if they've received it and see if they can put you in contact. Mine was able to show me a few students from maybe 3 students from about 10 or 15 years ago, a couple, one every few years, and I tried to get in contact with some of them, but it was very hard because their school emails did not work, and we didn't really have another way to contact them. But I was able to find one of them on Facebook and send a message. So if you can, see if you can find them and get permission from the school to share their contact information before going and looking them up. Make sure the alum is comfortable just to ask any questions. Again, you want to remember to revise and edit. There's never too many revisions or edits. I know you're going to think it's perfect at some point, but there can definitely be edits made. Having another set of eyes will really help. Lastly, again, manage your deadlines. Make sure you keep in mind when it is due, submission time, and account for the time zone that it's in. I believe it's in Eastern Standard Time, but I could be wrong. So make sure you know if it says it's due at 3 p.m. on January 1st and it's Japan time, that you are able to take that into account, because there are various time zones in the world. I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, please do let me know. I'm currently studying abroad at Kansai Gaidai University in Hirakata, Japan. So, if any of you have questions specific to the Freeman-ASIA Scholarship with Kansai Gaidai courses, credits, for the education section, I can definitely help you. If you have questions for Freeman-ASIA about Japan specifically, where you'll be staying, addresses, how to format anything, I can help you as well. And if you're from any country elsewhere in the world, I'm definitely able to help you. I may just not be as familiar. So if you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment down below. Let me know if there's anything specifically you'd like to see to work on. If you'd like, you're welcome to send your essays in, and I can make a video about it to help give feedback to you and the rest of the world, whatever you'd like. My contact email, if you need anything, is abigailinjapan2324@gmail.com. So if you have a question about your essays or something you don't want to ask in the comments, you're welcome to send an email to this email address. And if you'd like the link to this tip sheet, please let me know. I'm going to go ahead